This video is brought to you by Aura. Growing up, I always had a goal in my life. It all started when I was watching a TV in the cozy living room of my parents' house. I saw beautiful ice skaters dancing on the ice skate rink that said Winter Olympics, Salt Lake 2002. As a small kid, I had never seen anything like that before. They all looked so beautiful, so magical, and I thought, someday I want to be able to dance on the ice like that. That became my goal for the next 10 years. But I quickly learned the reality. The reality is that it is extremely difficult to make it to the Olympics. And spoiler alert, I didn't make it. But I want to think that I became good enough in those 10 years that I looked somewhat beautiful and magical. 10 years later, I entered late 20s. I quit ice skating, entered the corporate world, and just like many of us, I became obsessed with those self-improvement videos. And I'm not gonna lie, I still am. I watched so many videos where young, pretty girls who look successful and look like they have their shit together talk about how to create your dream life, how to be unrecognizable, and how to actually glow up. As every self-help guru says, I always came up with my goals. I broke them down into small actions, and based on them, I made a to-do list every day and marked the ones with high priority. But here is the problem. I prioritized my goals so much in my life that I started to become so annoyed when I need to do things that are not related to achieving my goals. For example, laundry. I always hated laundry, but I started to hate it even more to the point where I got angry when I needed to do it because doing laundry was absolutely not gonna help me achieve my goals. The other day, I experienced this small event that is completely changing my life. I was listening to Andrew Huberman's podcast with Anna Limke. They are both professors at Stanford University School of Medicine, and Professor Limke is the author of Dopamine Nation. And this one simple thing that she said in the podcast is transforming my life. She was saying how ambitious her students are nowadays. They want to be a doctor, found a startup, go to Africa, apply for grants. And although I'm not trying to be a doctor, I have a lot of things I want to achieve in my life, and I can really relate to that. You might think it's exciting that I have so many goals in my life, but honestly, sometimes it feels like I'm being chased by endless amount of to-do lists that I created. In the podcast, they started to talk about something very interesting. They're both very successful and achieved a lot of things in their lives, but out of all the things they achieved, they said they felt more satisfied when they achieved something that they didn't plan for or they didn't expect. I thought about all the success I had in my life, big or small, and I realized that I have definitely felt this big sense of satisfaction when I achieved something that I didn't really expect. In the world we're living in, we constantly feel this pressure to have multiple goals in life at all times and plan everything backwards. Maybe our lives became so convenient that we became too obsessed with calculating everything. Another interesting thing they were talking about is even though they're both extremely successful people, both of them don't have big goals or vision in life. Wait, so that means after all these self-improvement videos, you're saying you actually don't need goals or vision in life to be successful? How do you become successful without goals? What she talked about next is completely changing my mindset, and it is so simple. Instead of trying to follow your passion or goal, get out of the digital world, look around in real life and think, how can I make today a little bit better? What needs to be done to make your day better? Does laundry need to be folded so that you can have a clean, comfortable space and feel better? Does your partner need some help from you, which is gonna make him feel better and make you feel better? After listening to the podcast, for the first time in forever, I don't feel annoyed or angry to do laundry and other chores that are necessary to make my life comfortable. What's crazy is I even started to enjoy them. Maybe I was focusing too much on my future self that I forgot to live my life one day at a time. One thing I'm working on to make my day a little bit better is to swap my mindless screen time with something more meaningful, like learning a new language, being more active, and spending more time for myself. And I am not gonna lie, it has been challenging. Even with all the apps and settings I set up to prevent mindless scrolling time, I still find myself scrolling here and there. One thing that's been helpful for me is to use an app called Aura. It is a new mindfulness and sleep app that has thousands of contents including meditation, yoga, stories, relaxing music, and you can even attend a live session and book a one-on-one with your favorite coach. I used to do morning meditation every single day, watching a YouTube video, but many times I found myself scrolling through YouTube afterwards, which ruined my entire morning, and eventually I just stopped meditating at all. Aura only have contents dedicated for your wellness, so I don't need to get distracted anymore. It is so personalized that you can even choose what kinds of voice you prefer. Do you know how your body feels after eating a very nutritious meal? That's how I feel like after using this app, and it is really helping me rebuild my meditation habit. I'm currently doing a 30-day meditation challenge, and if you want to join me in the challenge, I have a special discount for you. The first 500 people who clicks the link in the description below will get a free trial plus exclusive 25% off. If you're thinking about trying, sign up right now and start your 30-day challenge today. So, what do you want to do today to make your day a little bit better? Maybe you can read a book that's been sitting on the bedside table. Maybe you can go take a walk to just unplug yourself from the digital world and just appreciate the nothingness. Maybe you can do your dishes while listening to your favorite songs. Having a passionate life with goals and vision can be great, but if you're like me who just goes too hard sometimes and completely burn myself out, remember, your life is not a self-improvement project. Your life is so much more than just achieving your goals. It is filled with beautiful small joys that we often take for granted.